Good morning. Let us begin very simply, very plainly, because we are not trying to scale some metaphysical peak today. The question before us is not, do you have thoughts? The question is, do you have the witness? The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit. And that is not a theological statement to be framed and hung in the mind. That is the living fact by which you will know whether you are being led of God or led by your own momentum. Do you see that? The Spirit does not come as a storm of syllables. It does not descend as a chorus of arguments. It bears witness. It is presence knowing itself as your very awareness, and the sign of it, the felt sign, is liberty. Now please take this and, make it practical. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. That must be more to you than a verse. It is a shibboleth, a password. You bring it to every confusion, every crossroad, every tightening in the chest or behind the eyes, and you ask one thing only. Is there liberty here? If there is strain, heat, compulsion, an inner argument that will not let go, do not be fooled by its sincerity. Sincerity is not the measure. Liberty is. Let that little phrase work for you as a light at the doorway. Where it shines, you may pass. Where it does not, you wait. Why? Because the Spirit never enters as tension. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. From the outset, I must set a premise that will not be bargained with. We are not going to try to force guidance, to manufacture peace, to get an answer. We are not even going to try to make a condition better. We are going to realize presence. That is our one demonstration. We are not going to do anything to the situation. We are going to bring to it the realization of God's presence. And when we attain that, liberty will be found there. If you say, I am not trying to get an answer, you have to mean it. You have to mean it to the point that God alone is enough, sick or well, right choice or wrong choice, now or later. God alone is enough. Do not let your concern be for outcome. Let your concern be that you feel that surging of the Spirit within you. Then you can be in the discussion, but not of it. In the planning, but not of it. And here is the contrast that will carry us all the way through. Mind noise argues, insists, sells, scares. It has a case, and it will prosecute it. Spirit does not prosecute. Spirit bears witness. The witness is quiet assurance, a non-argumentative yes, sometimes an equally non-argumentative wait, but always the atmosphere of liberty around it. No heat, no clutch, no you must or else. Have you noticed how the mind hurries? Spirit does not hurry. Spirit is, and its beingness in you makes you free. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. So, as we proceed, fix this foundation in your consciousness. Romans 8:16 is not a theory. It is a living verification that appears in you as freedom from strain. If you feel driven, pause. If you feel pushed, pause. Bring the password to the door and stand still. We are not going to try to do anything to the thought, not going to fight it into silence. We are going to realize presence. In that realization, decisions find their place without debate. Steps reveal themselves without fanfare. And your heart knows, not because it argued well, but because the Spirit itself bore witness with your spirit, and you recognized it by liberty. Now let us look, quietly and honestly, at the texture of that which so often passes itself off as guidance. You will know it by the pressure in it. It comes with urgency, with a clock on the wall and a finger tapping the table. It comes with a must, with a hurry, with a what if. and it begins to rehearse scenes. Have you noticed? It writes the email for you, answers for the other person, argues both sides of a case, and still ends with a verdict against your peace. It loops. It circles. It needs to be right. It needs to be safe. It needs to be seen as wise. And always, always, it seeks immediate relief. That is its secret god, relief, and it will sacrifice truth to get it. The Spirit does not. The Spirit bears witness, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. We often say, "I want God's will." And, we mean it as far as words go, but underneath there is a footnote. Provided I keep my reputation. Provided the money clears by Friday. Provided the pain stops tonight. Provided this relationship works. Do you see the bargain? Do you see the strain that appears the moment the proviso is touched? That is the signature of mind. It is not evil, it is sincere, but sincerity is not the measure. Liberty is. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit, and that witness is not a negotiation. It is not a sales pitch. It is not a flurry of clauses. It is a simple, quiet yes, or a simple, quiet not yet, and the air around it is free. Here is a way to unmask the masquerade. Suppose you or I set ourselves to prove that 2 times 2 is 5. We could repeat it all day, print it on cards, chant it with music, get 100 friends to agree, work up a glow about it, and still no law would form to support it. The very strain would be our evidence that we were laboring under a false premise. So it is when mind pushes a conclusion and calls it guidance. It repeats, it sweats, it pleads, it collects proofs, and the effort itself betrays it. Guidance is not manufactured. It is revealed when presence is realized, and in the revealing there is no pressure, because we are not erecting a law, we are discovering one. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now do not mistake this. Mental affirmation can be clean, sincere, and it may even bring a let-up, a little breathing space as a sedative would. But you will recognize what it is by what follows. If, after your fine declarations, the argument resumes its march, if you are tired, if you need to start again and again to hold the line, you are in the realm of mind. You are trying to make 2 times 2 be 5. When the witness speaks, it ends the debate without fanfare. It does not shout the other voices down, they have nothing to push against. The inner atmosphere loosens. You may not have a plan on paper, but you have liberty in your chest. And that liberty is your verification. So, for this moment, take this as a rule of diagnosis. If it comes with strain, compulsion, and argument, honor its sincerity, but do not call it spirit. Pause. Do not let your concern be to win the argument. Let your concern be to bring to this very thought the realization of God's presence. And when that presence is felt, you will not need to force anything. You will simply know, because the Spirit itself will have borne witness with your spirit, and liberty will have told you so. Now we come to the heart of it, and I cannot soften this, because it is the very pivot of our life in God. You have no demonstration to make from this day forward except one, the realization of the presence of God. Not this job or that, not approval here or safety there, not even the right answer to this week's decision. One demonstration only. We are not going to try to do anything to the problem, the choice, the voice in the head. All we are going to do is bring to it the realization of God's presence, and when we attain that, liberty will be found there. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. So when the mind rises and asks, "What should I do?" you must, gently but firmly, change the question. Do not let your concern be, "What should I say on that call? Which door should I pick? How soon must I act?" Let your concern be one thing only. Can I feel the surging of the Spirit within me? In other words, can I touch, even for a breath, the felt reality that God is here? Because listen, guidance is not obtained by effort. It is revealed when presence is realized. The Spirit does not come to rearrange appearances to your liking. The realized presence dissolves fear, and in the absence of fear, the next step becomes obvious without push or panic. How do you test this? By liberty. If, after your prayer, there is liberty, the witness is clear. Romans 8:16 has taken place, not as a quotation, but as your consciousness. If there is no liberty, if there is still negotiation, hurry, a case being argued, you are not yet at the witness. You are still conversing with mind and the mass suggestions that pass for prudent concern. Do not fight them. Do not improve them. Do not make a better argument. Bring the password to the door. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And stand still until the atmosphere loosens. Take a simple scene. A report has come, or an offer sits on your desk, or a relationship demands a reply. Habit says, decide now, protect yourself, convince them. Spirit says nothing of the kind. Spirit bears witness. So you withdraw for 3 minutes if that is all you have, and you speak the truth to yourself. Father, I am not trying to get an answer. I am seeking only the awareness of you. I can be in this, but not of it. God alone is enough. And you wait, not for a plan, but for liberty. When the inner tightness yields and that quiet assurance comes, you will either find yourself moving without drama, or you will find yourself resting without fear. Both are guidance. Both are liberty. Now, when you say, "I am not trying to get well," or "I am not trying to make this deal," you have to mean it. If you keep a string on the outcome, the witness remains veiled, because you are still worshiping relief. Give up the string. Give up gratitude for answers that please you. Be grateful for God alone. Then watch how, in the light of realized presence, what is yours emerges to meet you, and what is not quietly falls away. No debate, no strain. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit, and you will know it by this. The fear is gone, the liberty is here, and the step before you, action or waiting, shines without argument. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now, let us be very clear, because discernment is not a hunt for omens. It is the recognition of qualities within. The Spirit's voice never arrives with fireworks. It does not need a signboard. It comes as quiet certainty, and the atmosphere of it is spacious. There is tenderness in it, but not sentimentality. No sticky sweetness, no flattering of the senses. There is authority in it, but an authority that does not defend itself. It does not marshal proofs. It does not say, "Look how right I am." It simply is, and in its being, you find yourself free. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. That liberty is the signature. You will notice that the air inside loosens. You can breathe again. The shoulders drop. The brow releases. Nothing may have changed outside, but something living has announced itself, and that is the witness. Now watch this contrast, because it will spare you many detours. Excitement is not assurance. Excitement spikes, it dazzles, it promises, then it crashes at the first delay or contradiction. Assurance abides. It is more like the life of the tree than the thrashing of the fronds. The wind can come and the fronds will whip, but the life is not disturbed. It continues its quiet upflow. So it is when Romans 8:16 takes place in you. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit, not as a thrill that demands an audience, but as a settled yes that does not argue. The yes does not hurry you. It does not say, act now or lose everything. It stands, and in its standing, you are made free to move or to wait without fear. How does the Spirit correct? Not by condemnation, but by light. It is as if a room were dim, and in that dimness you mistook a rope for a snake. The Spirit does not scold you for being afraid. It turns on the light. You look again and you see, quietly, that there was no law making it a snake. You are not humiliated. You are illumined. The same holds for the inner errors that have worn the costume of prudence or duty or family loyalty. The witness reveals their nothingness without drama. You do not have to fight them. You simply do not bow to them anymore, because there is liberty where the Spirit is. You will also notice a tenderness that is clean. You are softened toward persons without being controlled by them. You can say yes without panic, and you can say no without hardness. That is the Spirit's touch. Mercy without weakness. Clarity without edge. And there is this further mark. The witness often feels like hearing your own name spoken by someone who knows you better than you know yourself. It is recognition, not debate. You stop proving. You start acknowledging. Yes, Father, I see. That is the end of argument. So, as you meet the next crossroads, do not reach for a sign outside. Listen for qualities within. Is there quiet assurance? Is there space around the thought? Is there tenderness without sentimentality? Authority without defense? Above all, is there liberty? If so, rest in that non-argumentative yes. If not, stand still. We are not going to try to do anything to it. We are going to bring the realization of God's presence until the witness arises. And when it does, you will recognize it as surely as you recognize your own name. And you will know by this infallible password, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now we must unmask a very old error, wearing very modern clothes. Behind most of what passes for my intuition in the marketplace of today is not spirit at all. It is mass hypnotism, money fear speaking through stock tickers and headlines, body fear speaking through symptom lists and clever ads, time fear speaking through countdown clocks and productivity mantras, approval fear speaking through likes, comparisons, and, the silent pressure to belong. Do you see how it works? 1,000 little voices, amplified by algorithms that learn your startle reflex, talk to you until their chorus begins to sound like your own thought. But the test is simple. Hypnosis narrows, the spirit enlarges. Hypnosis contracts you into survival, into calculating, into defending an image you think is you. Spirit bears witness as liberty. Consider the daily barrage. Breaking, always breaking, as if peace were an irresponsible luxury. A banner flashes, a graph dips, a commentator leans in, and your chest tightens before you have checked whether any of this is your business under God. Or you open a screen, and the feed compares your morning to a stranger's highlight reel. At once, an inner accountant wakes and begins to tally your life against theirs. Even well-meaning religion joins in when anxiety dresses itself as zeal. Now, decide for God before it's too late. Prove your faith by this act. If you don't, the blessing may pass you by. In that atmosphere, God becomes a deadline, and prayer becomes an attempt to bargain for safety. All of that is mesmerism. It narrows you. It says hurry. It says you could miss your one chance. Who said that? Who told you that your life in God is a race against a clock? Not the witness. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Family patterns speak with the same borrowed voice. In this house, we don't make waves. Keep it respectable. Better small and safe than large and foolish. And so, under the flag of wisdom, you are secretly trained to defend an image. The good child, the competent adult, the pious member. Then, when an inner prompting comes to give, to forgive, to wait, or to move, you cannot hear it for the committee in your blood casting votes. That is not your family. That is the world sense repeating itself as you. You can be in it, but not of it. Now here is the practice, and it will save you. The very moment you detect contraction, tightness in the throat, a heat in the head, the tunnel of either or, call it by its name. Hypnotism, not spirit. And then, without arguing, bring the password to the door. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Do not let your concern be to answer the news, to fix the image, to meet the deadline. Let your concern be to realize presence. Withdraw, even for 60 seconds, and say within, Father, I am not trying to get relief, not trying to win the scene. I seek only the awareness of you. We are not going to try to do anything to the suggestion. We are going to bring to it the realization of God's presence. Wait for expansion. Wait for the atmosphere to widen. When the witness arises, you will find yourself free to act or free to wait, and either way, the fear will have no handle. That is how you know. What felt like inner guidance was mass fear speaking. The Spirit is recognized by liberty, by space, by that quiet yes which does not argue, does not hurry, and does not threaten. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now we must come to the straight edge of integrity, because without this, you will circle for years around the perimeter of truth and never touch the sinner. The reason most of us do not hear the Spirit is not that God is far off. God is not far off. The reason is that under the very words, "Thy will be done," there is a small print that reads, "Provided it goes the way that spares me." We want God as a means to comfort, means to reputation, means to a guaranteed tomorrow. And the moment God is approached as a means, the witness is veiled, because the mind is still at the helm, calculating outcomes and calling it prayer. Do you see that? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, not leverage. So here is the integrity test, and you cannot fake it, not even with yourself. You must be able to say and mean, I am not trying to get relief. I am not trying to win an answer. I am determined that the object of my life is spiritual awareness. Sick or well, employed or not, praised or misunderstood, together or alone. Can you say it and not leave your fingers crossed? You have to mean it. Do not let your concern be to change the condition, to rush the decision, to secure the outcome. Let your concern be that you feel that surging of the Spirit within you. We are not going to try to do anything to the situation. We are going to bring to it the realization of God's presence. And when we attain that, liberty will be found there. Now, watch the subtle bargain because it wears a pious face. If you tell me what to do, I'll obey. Lovely words, yes, but often what the heart whispers underneath is, so that nothing hard happens. That is still negotiation. That is still fear seeking a contract. Spirit is not heard by negotiators. Spirit is recognized by those who lay down the terms and stand unarmed in presence. You can be in it, but not of it. In the conversation, in the crossroads, in the doctor's office, in the boardroom, but not of the bargaining spirit that says, I will obey if. There is no if. There is God, and the witness of God, and the liberty that accompanies God. And this will sound upside down to the human sense, but it is the doorway. Give up gratitude for results. Give up gratitude for healings, for increased supply, for vindications, for all the little medals the world can pin on a day. Be grateful for God alone. Be grateful for presence. Because, listen, that is where the witness is felt. Gratitude for outcomes still ties you to outcomes. Gratitude for God frees you to live by God. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth. When you are grateful for God alone, the atmosphere widens, the argument drops its case. Sometimes the outer resolves in an hour, sometimes it waits for a season, but you are free either way. That freedom is your guidance. Take your case, whatever it is, and bring it right now into the light of this vow. Father, I am not trying to get relief. I seek only the awareness of you. If there is action, I will act without drama. If there is waiting, I will wait without fear. God alone is enough. And be still. Still enough to know whether liberty is present. If it is, move or rest as you are led. Both are obedience. If it is not, do not move. Do not bargain. Do not make a better plan. Return to the one demonstration, the realization of the presence of God, until the witness speaks in that quiet assurance which does not argue, does not hurry, and does not threaten. Then you will know, not by a sign outside, but by this within. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now let us practice, and let us set an expectation that saves you much disappointment. We are not going to make something happen. We are not going to manufacture a voice, tease out an omen, or tug on God's sleeve for a sign. All we are going to do is become still enough to notice what is already present. We are not going to try to do anything to the condition or to the mind. We are going to bring to this moment the realization of God's presence, and when we attain that, liberty will be found there. Silence is not emptiness. It is the place where the Spirit's witness is recognized without argument. Phase 1. Release. Take your case, do not prettify it, do not dramatize it, and place it before the altar within. Father, here it is. I am not trying to get relief. I am not trying to win a scene. I seek only the awareness of you. That is all. We are not denying the appearance, we are denying it authority. We are not pushing it away, we are setting it down where the light can reach it. If sensation rises, tightness in the chest, a flurry of what-ifs, do not argue. Notice the strain and call it what it is. Mind noise, hypnotism's echo, not the Spirit. Then bring the password to the door. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Phase 2. Rest. Say nothing clever. No long affirmations now. Simply turn, inwardly, to the fact of presence. I can be in this, but not of it. God is here. Wait not for sentences, but for atmosphere. Let the breath come as it will. Let the shoulders soften if they wish. Let the brow unknit. Your only concern is that you feel, however faintly, the surging of the Spirit within you. When the air inside loosens, even a little, acknowledge it. Thank you, Father. We are not trying to feel better. We are consenting to God. Stay with it until there is a hint, just a hint, of liberty. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Phase 3. Listen. Not for words. Listen for witness. The mind will try to comment. Now decide, now prove, now protect. Let it pass as you would let a headline scroll by. Do not chase it. Return to the password and to the sense of space that began to open. Ask nothing. Wait. If the witness comes as a quiet yes, it will not argue. It will not hurry. You will know by the freedom around it. If it comes as a not yet, it will be equally unforced, and you will find that you can wait without panic. Sometimes there are no syllables at all, only the disappearance of fear. That is guidance. That is Romans 8:16 in you. The Spirit itself beareth witness with your spirit, and you know it by liberty. You may rise from this silence without a plan on paper, but you will rise with authority without defense, tenderness without sentimentality, and above all, freedom from the clutch. That freedom is your green light or your red light. If liberty is present, move or rest as you are led. Both are obedience. If liberty is not present, do not move. Do not bargain. Return to the one demonstration, the realization of the presence of God, until the witness stands where argument once stood. Then, without drama, you will discover the next step forming itself. Or you will discover the grace to wait. And in either case, you will be able to say with truth in your bones, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now we must face, quietly and honestly, the moment that sooner or later comes to all of us. The witness does not rubber stamp your blueprint. It removes the must from your mind and, in its place, sets a simple rightness that does not argue. It is not against you. It is for liberty. You had drawn the line to the left, but the witness points to the right, or says, not yet. Do not make a scene with God. Do not rush to rescue your plan. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And if liberty is found in a way you did not prefer, that is your proof. Romans 8:16 has taken place. And the Spirit itself beareth witness with your spirit, not with your itinerary. Obedience without drama is the mark of those who have touched this. You do not announce it. You do not collect sympathy for it. You do not build an identity around the obedient one. You simply follow the liberty. If the witness says give, you give. If it says release, you release. If it says speak, you speak. And if it says be silent, you are silent. No trumpets, no justifying speeches to secure approval. Why? Because you are not trying to do anything to the condition or to the people. You are consenting to God. You can be in it, but not of it. Present to the duties of the day, but not animated by the arm of flesh. The step may be costly to pride, yes, but it will carry a calm inevitability. It will feel like walking downhill, not like dragging a boulder uphill. Liberty, not strain, identifies it. And then there is the other form of obedience, which the world disrespects, but heaven recognizes. Waiting without fear. If there is no liberty yet, do nothing. That is not laziness. That is refusing to act under hypnotic pressure. The deadline shouts, The relatives frown. The mind throws pictures on the wall. And still, you stand in the password. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Do not let your concern be to satisfy the clock or the chorus. Let your concern be that you feel that surging of the Spirit within you. We are not going to try to do anything to the demand. We are going to bring to it the realization of God's presence. When liberty dawns, the waiting will end by itself, and your step will come with the same quiet inevitability that marked your silence. Do not fear that a Spirit-led step must be easy. It may not be. In my own life, doors that had once meant much closed without quarrel. Invitations stopped. Old pleasures lost their taste. I still lived, but not in the same atmosphere. None of that came with panic. There was no need to defend or accuse. The witness had spoken, and that was enough. So it will be with you. The step may be challenging, but it will not be frantic. It will not hurry you into saving face or buying safety. It will simply stand, and as you stand with it, you are free. So here is our rule of integration. If liberty is present, obey without drama. If liberty is not present, wait without fear. Both are forms of the same thing, the realized presence. Both bear the same fruit, quiet assurance. And both carry the same password in their atmosphere. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now we set a rule, and this is not a rule to bind you. It is a rule to free you. At least 3 times a day, stop, sit, be still, until you feel the surging of the Spirit within you. Do not let your concern be for health, for supply, for reputation, for answers. Do not let your concern be to move the pieces on the board. Let your concern be that you feel that surging of the Spirit within you. We are not going to try to do anything to the condition, to the plan, to the pressure. All we are going to do is bring to it the realization of God's presence. And when we attain that, liberty will be found there. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Set the times as you would keep an appointment with the dearest friend. Morning, before you pick up the phone, before you consult the world. Midday, before you answer the call, sign the paper, or finalize the message. Evening, before you fall asleep and let the day write itself on your night. Even 5 minutes will do if given wholly. Sit, turn within, and speak the truth. Father, I am not trying to get well, not trying to be approved, not trying to win relief. I seek only the awareness of you. I can be in it, but not of it. God is here. Then wait, not for a sentence from the sky, but for atmosphere, for space, for that loosening inside which is the earliest hint of liberty. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Use Scripture as your living tools, not as decorations. Romans 8:16 is your verification. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit. How will you know? By liberty. After your stillness, if there is quiet assurance, authority without defense, tenderness without sentimentality, if there is a non-argumentative yes, or an equally quiet not yet, the witness has spoken. If there is strain, bargaining, hurry, or the old case stepping back to the lectern, do not move. Remain. Return. We are not going to try to do anything to the argument. We are going to bring the realization of God's presence until the argument has no air to breathe. And in crisis, because the world will sometimes shout, go at once to the password. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Whisper it in the hallway. Speak it at the wheel. Hold it silently in the meeting. If liberty dawns, you may act without drama. If liberty does not dawn, you may wait without fear. You can be in it, but not of it. Keep this simple checklist in your heart, not as a superstition, but as a lamp for the path. Strain belongs to mind. Liberty belongs to spirit. Contraction is hypnosis. Expansion is presence. Argument is the old self proving a case. Witness is God revealing himself. Outcome attachment binds. Awareness of God frees. When any voice speaks within, test it by these. Does it narrow me or enlarge me? Does it hurry or does it stand? Does it threaten or does it free? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. You are not asked to perfect your mind. You are asked to stop enthroning it. Yield its chair to the witness that is already bearing witness. Give God 3 simple doorways each day, and you will discover that discernment becomes dependable. Not because you have tamed thought, but because you have learned to live by presence. At least 3 times a day, sit in quietness until you feel that surging of the Spirit within you. Then rise, sometimes to act, sometimes to wait, but always in liberty. Thank you.